Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Wilhelm Scream, and welcome back to another day in Destiny 2 for some more Destiny 2 news and Beyond Light Season of the Lost intel. And in this video, I'm going to be taking you through this week's Grandmaster Nightfall, which is the Corrupted Strike once again. Not my favorite strike, I'm sure it's not most people's favorite strike, but it has become a bit easier this season, which is a good thing. If you can get a platinum score for this week's Grandmaster, you will be awarded either an adept version of the Palindrome 140 hand cannon, which is very meta at the moment and quite sought after, so definitely worth farming out and picking up, or a Swarm heavy machine gun, which is also very powerful at the moment, and I think will be becoming more powerful as machine guns get an upgrade. But before we get into all of that regarding the strike, I just want to talk about briefly a few things that will be hitting the Destiny community today at the time that you're actually watching this, which is December the 7th. We are getting the 30th anniversary update for Bungie. We're going to be getting a whole bunch of new weapons, as well as a new dungeon, and the most sought after exotic probably in the history of the game, the heavy rocket launcher Gjallarhorn. It is coming back. I'm sure everybody is very excited. Not too much is known as far as how to actually acquire this weapon as of yet, other than you're going to have to descend into the new dungeon, which is accessible through the old loot cave in the Cosmodrome. I believe it was the shipyard, if anybody remembers the loot cave from Destiny 1. I'm sure at least a few people spent a couple hours there farming out legendaries back in D1, and were sad when there wasn't anything really there in D2 when the Cosmodrome actually returned. Well, our wishes have been granted, and it looks like, I'm not for sure, but it looks like that will be the entrance to the new dungeon. Lots of cool things in the new dungeon. Certainly, as far as lore is concerned, we're going to be getting a little bit more of a backstory on Xur, as Xur will be, or has been, seen in what looks like the treasure room of this new dungeon, possibly the place that you actually go to upon completing it. There's several different new chests that you can get loot from, specifically whatever kind of loot you want, whether it's a cosmetic or a piece of armor, or maybe a weapon. And I'm sure that the Gjallarhorn quest will run sort of tandem with this new dungeon, as is the case with a lot of exotics that are brought into the game when a new dungeon is, most notably Xenophage. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and having close to 80 days left of this season, I'm glad we're actually getting something new. It's been a little bit overdue, if you ask me. Some new stuff to do in the game. But now, back to the strike, as though I'm sure a lot of people are going to be taking time to actually explore the new dungeon and definitely get Gjallarhorn as soon as they possibly can. This is still here for those Palindrome and Swarm fans. And of course, Ascendant Shards and materials are plethora in this particular strike, or any really Grandmaster strike. So I'm sure some people, though they might not do it right away, will be taking the time to get into this strike, maybe with the Gjallarhorn in hand by the end of the week. So a couple of things. There has been some changes. Previously, there was a really easy glitch that allowed you to nuke the boss. This was with the Dustfield Grenade and a linear fusion rifle, which, though the name escapes me at the moment, could be acquired from the Prismatic Recaster, I believe from last season's loot, or maybe it was this season's loot. But by throwing the Dustfield Grenade on the boss, you were then able to use this particular linear fusion rifle, which had, I think, a unique perk on it that allowed you to almost instantly melt the boss. I believe this has been patched since the last time the Corrupted Strike was here. Worth trying, but I don't think it's going to work out. So there's another method that I think actually works really, really well. And it's kind of a spin-off of an old glitch that used to be associated with this strike, which revolved around these nodes that you pick up to actually defeat some of the yellow bar enemies, like the mini bosses. You used to be able to carry those nodes with you all the way through the strike from that first room. Unfortunately now, as soon as you kill the third mini boss, they all disappear. But the reason that helped in the past was if you did carry one of the nodes all the way to the boss, when the boss is just sort of sitting there on the platform before you actually start the encounter, you were able to throw that last node that you brought with you and it would take down the boss's shields, though they wouldn't actually move. So the boss would just stay where they were, the encounter wouldn't start, and you could actually pick down the boss to almost negative health, or right before they actually were out of health. Then start the encounter. You needed to start the encounter to actually get the loot, but you'd be fighting a boss that had a sliver of health left rather than the entire health bar. We're going to do something similar, but it will require you actually surviving that first phase of the boss. So once you get to the actual boss room, and ignore this first part of this video, because though you can get up to the top of this area, you do get a burn effect once you're up there, and there's no real point of staying up there anymore. Because there's no proximity alert like there used to be on this boss, so you can actually stay way back on these floating platforms, which is really the method to actually defeating this boss. So once you start the encounter, just have somebody run up, start the encounter, and then have everybody move back. You can even move back further than you see in this video. Take out the first wave of ads, damage the boss, but you're going to need to just damage them until they actually go to the Taken Zone, or the Forsaken Zone, whatever the Dark Zone is. Once they teleport out of this particular platform, then you're going to take one of those nodes that you use to throw at the boss in this area with you. You're going to take them through the portal into the Ascended Realm. That's what it's called. Take out the first wave of ads, as you'll see me do here, and then throw the node at the boss. Make sure that you get a good shot at the boss, because if you miss, you're going to need to just continue through as normal. But if you can actually hit the boss here, which isn't too hard, I would just say make sure that you take out any ads that might impede you from getting a clear shot. You can actually destroy the boss from the Forsaken Realm, or the Ascendant Realm, or the dark area, the Dark Zone, whatever you'd like to call it, Ascendant Realm. So once you're in the Ascendant Realm with the node, you can, like I said, take out these ads, dunk the node on the boss from a distance, and then you can defeat the boss in the Ascendant Realm. And this will save you quite a bit of time, almost half the encounter. They also don't move if you do it from here. As you'll see, they stay fairly put. Like, I don't really need to attack here. I could have stayed on the other platform and the boss wouldn't have moved. They would just sit there. They're a little bit, for some reason, weaker in this area. I don't think the mechanics work quite as well. Obviously, you're not having to deal with a ton of ads attacking you while you're trying to do damage to the boss. So definitely try the Dustfield linear fusion rifle thing, but if it doesn't work, this is definitely going to be the best method to actually defeat the boss. And that's going to be it for all the information in today's video. Hopefully you can get yourself a 120 hand cannon or a Swarm heavy machine gun. I think are both very meta at the moment. This footage, sort of a side note before we end the video, was from a previous season, so I don't really think this works, but it might be interesting to know. Maybe somebody can get it to work. Just a little bit of extra information for today's video. At the beginning of the strike, there used to be a way where you could find your way out of the map, going sort of the same way that you would if you wanted to go into the raid and loot some of the old secret chests. You don't really need to do it this way anymore, but you would jump out of the map through this hole and then make your way to a loading zone. Now, this only worked on a Bubble Titan. When you make it to a certain loading zone outside of the map and hit the bubble at the same time that you were actually loading through it, you could get the game to glitch where you would get a infinite sort of roaming bubble super. So you would have all the damage resistance that you would get from being in a bubble, but you could walk around. You would know that this was working based on the fact that you'd have these like little purple footprints as you walked. That's the signal that the glitch was actually working. I've tried it a few times. I couldn't get it to work this season, but the timing is sort of sensitive, so it might have just been me not being able to get the timing exact. But if you could get it to work, obviously you'd have, unless you died, a roaming super with all the damage resist of a Bubble Titan through the entirety of the strike. So maybe you can get this to work. I unfortunately could not this season. But that is finally all the information for today's video. Hopefully you found something in this video helpful. Thank you all so much for watching as always. If you made it this far, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on all post notifications, that bell that's right next to the big red subscribe button, for more Destiny 2 content that'll also enter you into any future giveaways on this YouTube channel. The next one will be at 55,000 subscribers. We're doing a Witch Queen Seasonal Pass Deluxe giveaway. Hopefully we reach 55,000 by the time that expansion actually launches so that nobody misses out on any of the new content. And as always, if you've watched all the way till the end of the video, you can leave a hashtag Beyond Light, or a hashtag Season of the Lost, or a hashtag Witch Queen, or a hashtag The Corrupted in the comments section down below. That'll give you another entry into that giveaway for this video. Remember, I do the secret hashtags on the end of all videos, so if you haven't done this on a previous piece of content on this channel, you can always go back, check out another video, and of course do it again. And as always, I'm Wilhelm Scream. Of course, we will see you next time.